Hi, good day. My name is Franco Stronach. I'm the head of the indirect channel for Hytera. Just some background on myself. I've been in the telecommunication industry for the past 14 years. Originally started my career in the GSM space. I then moved to fixed line VoIP. And then back in 2014, I then started in the two-way radio industry, specifically focusing on the Hytera DMR products. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Hytera BD508, which is an entry-level model radio. It was released back in 2017 and it's become a very popular model amongst many customers in South Africa. Okay, so when you first get your BD508, it will include in the standard packaging, it will have an AC/DC power adapter. It will have a pocket charger which will allow for you to be able to dock the radio in for charging. It will also include a belt clip and hand strap, as well as a battery and an antenna, and then the main radio unit. Also to mention is the BD508 is available in VHF, which will support the entire VHF band from the 136 to 174 MHz, and also for UHF it will support the entire UHF frequency from 400 to 470. Okay, so to highlight a few features on the BD508, the BD508 supports a function called mixed channel. So what mixed channel basically does is it allows for the radio to automatically detect the receiving signal. It could either be an analog signal or a DMR signal, and the radio will then automatically switch into that mode and allow for you to be able to communicate back in either analog or digital. This is a very handy feature, especially for customers that have existing analog radios and also DMR radios and needs to be able to communicate to either analog or digital. The BD508 can also support pseudo trunk. So pseudo trunk is a feature unique to Hytera radios where the radio will dynamically switch between slot 1 and slot 2 and then also give you more efficiency using the 2 time slots in DMR. Okay, so to mention some other features on the BD508 is the BD508 has a programmable button on the side of the radio. So this button can be programmed for your radio to be able to switch between different zones, which will allow for the radio to support up to 48 channels. So the channel selector knob only has an option to switch between channel 1 up to 16, but you can have 3 zones which will give you 16 times 3, which is the 48 channels. Also to mention is the BD508 is IP54 rated, so it means that this radio can be used in harsh environments where there's dust, those type of environments. It's also splash proof, so if it had to be used where there's some rain, the radio will be able to survive. It's also military standard, so if it gets dropped or if it's used in places where the radio is going to be dropped, the radio will be able to handle those type of environments. Okay, so also to mention is that when you purchase the BD508, there's no licenses needed for you to have DMR functionality on the radio. It comes standard out of the box with the capabilities for analog and for digital, so there's no licenses needed. Also to mention is the BD508 also supports Vox. So Vox is a function where the radio will automatically detect when a person is talking and it will then transmit. You can adjust the levels on the radio so that if your voice gets to a certain level, it will automatically trigger and transmit. Where this is a handy feature is especially for some customers that are needing to use both their hands. They can enable the Vox feature on the radio and it will automatically transmit when the person starts talking. Okay, so because the BD508 is a entry-level model, it does not support the following functions. So you can't order a BD508 with GPS to allow for you to be able to track the radio. The BD508 also doesn't support multi-site roaming, which would allow for the radio to automatically switch between multiple zones. The BD508 also doesn't support the enable-disable function. So if you wanted to disable the radio over the air, this radio will not support this function as well. Okay, so the conclusion on the BD508 is it's a perfect model for any customer that is wanting to migrate or move from analog to digital. It's for customers that are price sensitive. It's for customers that are looking for a radio that has a good battery life and also good value for their money. Okay, so before we come to the end of this video, I would just like to say that the BD505 is the perfect solution for your commercial market, especially for customers in the retail industry, for your hospitality, for warehousing, as well as some security companies. Because the BD505 is an entry-level model, it does not support all the functions that we have in our more mid to high tier models, and we will be making some videos on those models as well in the near future. So thank you so much for watching this video.